Good. So technology can be so much more than just a set of, oh, sorry, need to do that. So the technology can be so much more than just a set of tools which help to become maybe only a bit faster in whatever you are doing in the language industry. Every company needs to strategically decide in which areas of business technology should be integrated. What is the real business purpose of your company? What is the value your company brings to your clients? As soon as you have clarified this simple task, and by the way, often enough in real life, still complicated enough, the long-term picture, which is nothing less than your company vision. As soon as you've clarified that, you should decide how to get there, which could then be literally translated as your mission, followed then by a detailed master action plan. And doing so consequently, it is obvious that technology decisions should be strategic decisions, so should not happen by accident, but should really be strategic decisions. And the question is, what is the right technology? Well, what can be covered with logic can be automated. And what can be automated and represents a reasonable amount of manual work should be considered to be technically solved. The right technology will bring you to a quick return on invest. And where the return is visible within around about 18 months or even earlier, it's a must to use technology. Above 18 months, I think this needs a bit more an individual verification. Is the purpose suitable and designed for one's business purpose? Is the tool you want to implement really ready to run? Is it immediately helpable and gives a positive impact on productivity, efficiency, and or effectiveness of your business? Think on that as well. Tech needs to work and fit today, but should also support tomorrow's needs. So the amount of users you are having tomorrow, the capacity, so the volume you are putting through, is there any bottlenecks, the budget you are having, and what's about the growth of your company? So it's obvious that also customization should be possible. As an LSP, I think it is clear technology needs to be an integral part of your company's business strategy. Well, having decided about there should be some tech usage in order to achieve some goals, one of the first questions, in my opinion, is about make or buy. There are several reasons, then again, when you should think about making it rather than buying. Think about any cost concerns you can have for licenses you would need to pay for on a regular basis. There could also be a desire to expand your manufacturing focus, which is nothing else but a strategically swap of your business model. Or if you see there's a technological need to have some tech to help you, but there's a lack of competent suppliers in the market, so the solutions which are available are maybe not mature enough, well, then you should decide thinking about making it on your own. And one topic which is in our industry also something you should be quite familiar with, the supplier could be your competitor as well, so think on that. Things like political and environmental reasons and organizational pride, for example, I do not really mention here. Time is running on that. On the other hand, there are also some points which could lead you to buy an existing solutions. Language industry, as we all know, is a quite dynamic market, and nobody really knows what will be next. Will the solution I'm thinking on today, will that still fit for tomorrow's needs? Who knows? what about your company's growth rate? Having a fast growth can lead to an internal pipeline of projects, which is way too big for your internal IT or development team, if you have one at all. So they cannot keep up with that. And maybe, or at least you should be, a language specialist, and then there could be a lack of technical experience, or a lack of knowledge about development processes themselves, and not to mention the lack of resources, so the capacity and the headcount to do so. Do not forget about speed. There is a ready-to-run solution already available on the market, while developing it on your own always takes time. So you really should consider carefully how long you can afford to wait on at least first part of a solution. You certainly can outsource a part or the whole of such a development project, but then again, it is also a question of your long-term budget, which is, honestly speaking, very, very hard to calculate at the beginning. And be aware, if you want to do it on your own, there are always the same pitfalls. There is a huge trend in our industry. A lot of LSPs are developing or asking other companies, letting them help to develop their own set of tools. One problem often arises, and this is that some points are definitely being overestimated. This relates to the commercial impact, the gain in productivity, as well as potential sales impact if the product is planned to be sold separately as a service product. But why is this? I think this is because decisions often are taken under the impression of two positive emotions. You could call this wishful thinking. There is more guessing than answers on real questions or real facts to decide on. On the other hand, there is a huge tendency to underestimate some important and success-relevant topics. Most importantly, it's the required development experience, because setting up a professional software solution is a totally different story from writing a macro. And the complexity between wishes and resources, so time, headcount, money, and learning of new business processes, you should not underestimate, but oftenly it is done. And literally, the task to translate from your idea to a valid user story, then to real life benefit, is also a tough task. If you have never done it, really tough. So reach out to someone to help you. One of the most underestimated things is the maintenance effort it brings with you, such as the adoption to any new connected systems, or simply some missing features, which are only seen when working with that solution. Or there is a requested customization to a special client's needs, which is, I think, quite typical in our industry. And then my favorite one, this is about the technical support, because just if you have developed it on your own, it does not mean that everything is working like it is intended, or that the users understand how to use it correctly. So in a nutshell, the gains often are smaller than expected, whilst the needed time and costs are drastically higher than expected. So how then to find a suitable solution? First things first, organize it. Make it a real project. Means dedicate time, dedicate team and process. Find a product manager who does internal and external investigation. So what exactly is the problem? What is the size of the problem? And take numbers only. So what is the relevance? How to measure that problem? And which are the costs of this problem. Often there is a bottleneck, for example, or there are repetitive tasks which could be solved by that technology. Or is there any real strategic importance? Which means, is it really a USP for you as an LSP? Or is it not visible at all on client side? Having clarified this, you need to go out and talking to potential clients. And go out talking to potential clients also means internal clients. So this is included, internal or external clients. What do your potential clients say about the concept, about that idea? Would they be willing to use that solution? Under which circumstances? What are the preconditions? And how would they like to measure success when using it? And one of the best things, how much would they be willing to invest as a development sponsoring partner? Because if your internal have some budgeting from other departments, it's also important that they pay into that. This co-funding is really a very good and a big indicator how valid your idea is. If you do not find any co-funding partner, why should you invest in that? You should then rather think about an existing standard solution. Then there is a decision-making team which needs finally to decide. But please be aware, bring the team into position to do so, to be able to do so. The team needs a clear budget. It needs management attention on that project, as well as reviews, including a stop-loss criteria. Otherwise, you will waste money like hell. The smooth implementation of new technology is very important to its acceptance and the financial success. Therefore, a brief look at the should-be process. Go and find those early adopters, which are always there. Are the very basic needs fulfilled? You could call this an MVP, so the minimal viable product. Or what is missing? How could we improve? Adjust then where necessary in order to increase the impact for quick wins, for good turnaround times. Then create those circles, which is the next round of feedback, learn from it, and then prepare the rollout. Before doing the rollout, prepare an announcement explaining to your users what will happen and the benefit they, as well as all the other stakeholders, will gain with that technology solution. This will immediately, and please do not interrupt this, this will immediately be followed by the rollout. Implement that technology, give training, as well as training documentation, so tutorials, FAQ, how-tos, and trainings as well. Do not forget about the service and support. During implementation phase, there is a totally different need for support than during real life business. During implementation, it is so much important and really crucial to have a very high priority on service and support. So be open for special support. If you have a ticketing system, do not insist on tickets, but providing fast help. Good. Now let's take a look on the key decision criteria and what to focus on. There are some points which always need to be taken into consideration when taking such a strategic decision. A truly important one is the absolute relevance of the topic. So how relevant could this technology be for us on a long term? Is there any strategic positioning with it? And what is the impact it may have on the company's result? So what is the best case? What is the worst case? Or what is the realistic case? You should have all three. And if you calculate all three, take the realistic one and not the best one. And then what about the potential destruction which is nothing else like the time needed to be invested of the involved management and your key employees from other, maybe more important topics and from daily business. Certainly, a clearly defined timeline, so a schedule for achievements, for milestones, for reviews is super important as well. But one of the most important things you should have are SMART goals, not only goals, but SMART goals. So specific ones, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound. Because if the goals are fuzzy, why should results then be supportive to what you want to have? So insist on having structured reviews with facts and figures only, stringent professional project management, including burn down charts, etc. And again, take care that there is the right level of management attention. Please no micromanagement, but you need to be there, you need to be visible as the C-level. And here is the final summary of this presentation. Clarify and get your make or buy decision done. Be realistic and fact-oriented. No, or at least not much, guessing. Let data help you. If there is a project, there must be a dedicated manager, fueled with time, material, and budget. We're in an agile world with lean management structures. So please involve the affected teams and gather valuable feedback from them. Find your internal sponsors, so the early adopters, and define a clear process. Even more important, make this process transparent to the whole team. Then do the reviews on a regular basis, discussing only facts and figures. And last but not least, have a planned rollout, including training and support. Thank you for listening. I am Gerd Janiszewski, doing active sparring for business owners and C-level managers, including participating in formal and non-formal advisory boards. In case of any questions, please don't hesitate and reach out to me. Feel free to ask any questions in that separate room later or directly, and I'll be happy to come back to you. And now, as the warming up has finalized, there are several other interesting presentations to come. Enjoy the 2022 LSP Tech Talk. And how it's like in a good rock concert. After the initial warm up, there will be the major act. And I think one of the major acts right now will start. I'm not sure whether it's AC/DC or whether it's something else, but enjoy.